You're going to find, this is what we're using, by the way, this gold prayer book, a Matzor is what we call it on the high holy days. On 122, you're going to find this Elohai Neshama. Oh, such a beautiful beginning of our morning. Every morning we wake up and we say, Elohai, God, the soul, the Neshama that you have given me is Tahorahi, it's pure, it's worthy, it's whole, it's good enough. Every day, that's how we start, it's good. We struggle all year long to do the right thing and to figure stuff out, and every day we reassert all the time that our core essence is goodness. Elohai Neshama, 122.
Elohai Neshama, שנתת בי טהוראי. Elohai Neshama, שנתת בי טהוראי. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהוראי. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהוראי. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני.
And now another specific thing feeling grateful for. I'm feeling grateful for this noise. Yes. And another thing grateful for. And another. And if you want to whisper those aloud as we do these prayers in the prayer book, please, by all means, page 126.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשני בצלם אלוהים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשני כל צורכי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המכין מצעדי גבר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם מלביש ערומים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם הנותן ליעב כוח. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המעביר שינה מעיניי ותמונה מעפעפיי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשני בצלם אלוהים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשני בן חורים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשני ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם עוזר ישראל. ישראל בגבורה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתפארה.
We turn to the very next page, page 130, Baruch She'amar. We actually are going to sing it Brucha She'amra. It's the feminine. You want to do masculine, feminine, you can lie. It just holds everything inside of a lie. It's always okay to lie. It's in fact wonderful. We just want to hear your voices. Please join us. 130.
Lie, lie, lie.
the divine. Hallelujah. Okay, so Hamelech, page 138. Hamelech Yosef על כיסא גב ונישא שוכן המאור וקדוש שמו וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני לישרים נאוות תהילה. Turn the page, שרים תתרומם, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתקדש, ובקרב קדושים תתעלה, ובמקלות תבעוט עמך בית ישראל. רינה יפק שמך, מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחו, אל ההודעות נתון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חי page 141.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי אבא ועלמא דיבר חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביום נכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמך מבורך ועולמו בעולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה ולעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה
It's found on page 142.
עושה שלום ותקני. Page 144 on the bottom. אור חדש, אור חדש, אז ציון תאיר. אור חדש, אור חדש,
New light.
אז ציון
Zion comes. A new light.
ונזכה כולנו מעל לאור, ונזכה כולנו מעל לאור, ונזכה כולנו מעל לאור, ונזכה כולנו מעל לאור. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאור.
So we are now going to approach the Shema, and we have Ahava Rabbah this morning to pray. Last night, Ahavat Olam. Always Ahavat Olam at night and Ahava Rabbah in the morning, but the theme is the same. That abundant love, Ahava Rabbah. Rav is like very much, right, spreads over, like when we sing Shalom Rav, right, peace in abundance. And this is Ahava in abundance, love in abundance, we sing this morning. And that's how we imagine Torah is given, as an act of chen, of grace, of love. Love freely given. Love given with no conditions. Then after we chant the Shema, we get some conditions, just to be frank. The Ve'ahavta comes in and says, these are the things, these are the actions, these are the commitments, this is the covenant that I ask of you, right? Act please in these ways. Be good, be kind, light some Shabbat candles. I mean, these are the things that are being asked. But the first one is this just abundant, this comes first, it comes first, it always comes first, just the freely given love. Then there's like, could you make me coffee? Could you not? Yeah, right, that comes next. But that source place, to tap into that source place of the freely given love. And at this time when we do this, those of you wearing a talit, a prayer shawl, we gather the four corners. We gather to our hearts the scattered of our people. We gather from the four corners of the earth, the scattered parts of ourselves, as we talked about last night, the me and not me is, so this would be a moment to gather the not me in the places that you have said are not you, but they are you. Back in to yourself and say and acknowledge that we're claiming it all close to our hearts before we chant the Shema. So Ahava Rabbah 146. Oh, if you do not have a prayer shawl, please do this anyway. You just gather. Any kind of gesture of gathering from any kind of four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever plane you want to move in this morning. Four corners gathering towards you. Here we go.
אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ויתרה, חמת עלינו. והעננו בתורתך, ודבר אלינו במצוותיך, ויחד לבב תמוך באהבה וליראה שמך, ולא לעולם. שמחה בשורתך. והבינו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ. Page 148. ותול יפנו כממירות לארצנו, כי אין פועל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון. וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ולכתך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. And remember, speak these words when you need some peace. Hold these words in your heart forever. They will always be right here when you need. Take these words and remember. Speak these words when you need some peace. Hold these words in your heart forever. They will always be right here when you need. And they will always be right here when you need. And they will always be right here when you need.
Bichamocha, joyously sung on the other side of the shore. Leapt into freedom. 164. You are always free to move. Always. Your seeds up.
164 in the middle. Tzur Yisrael Kuma, Kuma Bezat Yisrael. Tzur Yisrael Kuma, Kuma Bezat Yisrael. Ufetechi umecha Yehuda v'Yisrael. Ufetechi umecha Yehuda v'Yisrael. Go'alenu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Gad Yisrael.
The moment we begin the standing prayer, the Amidah together, and on the high holidays, they're not kidding when they say standing. We're going to be standing now for a long time. So if it feels like it's too much and it's difficult for you physically, it is always okay. If you cannot physically stand, please be seated. No extra points for suffering here, I promise. But if it feels like the good kind of struggle, not the suffer, but the struggle, like, that's great. You can use that in your body. If we're doing something and you're spacing out to think about somebody you want to make amends with, that is absolutely kosher as a part of the Amidah. So if you're in with us and out as you're reflecting, please take all of that time, this standing time to do so. We begin together on page 166, and then we will quickly go to 168.
Ya na 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 Adonai. Ya na 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 Svatai Tivta. Ya na 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 Ufi Yagi. Ufi Yagi Teilate.
Page 170.
ותשב עליו באמת, ותשב עליו באמת.
Page 176.
ובשופר גדול ייתקע, וקול דממה דקה יישמע.
178.
בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב.
On Rosh Hashanah it is written, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed.
בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. כמה יעבור וכמה ייבאו, מי יחיה ומי ימות, מי בקיצור ומי לא בקיצור. בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. מי באש ומי במים, מי בחרב ומי בחיה, מי ברעב ומי בצער. בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. מי באש ומי במגפה, מי בחניקה ומי בסקירה, מי ינוע ומי בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. בראש השנה ייכתב וביום צום כיפור ייכתב. מי ישקיט ומי יתועב, מי ישלם ומי יתייסר, מי יעני ומי ישיר, מי יושבת ומי.
On Rosh Hashanah this is written, on the fast of Yom Kippur this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Please join me at the page of 178. Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age? Who will be taken before their time? Who by fire and who by water? Who by war and by beast? Who by famine and who by drought? Who by earthquake and who by plague? Who by strength and who by storm? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will be tranquil and who will be troubled? Who will be calm and who will be tormented? Who will live in poverty and who will prosper? Who will be humble and who will fall? But through teshuvah, return. Through prayer, reflection, work on ourselves, tefillah. And through tzedakah, justice, righteous giving, we can alleviate the harshness of the decree. We continue with the Kedusha on page 184. Still standing. Do a couple leg bends.
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשני מעלות, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכזר זה קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, אדיר אדירים, אדוני אלוהינו, אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד, אדוני נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש בשבחך אלוהים, נגדי לא ימוש לעולם כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש
192. Middle of the page.
קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין אלוה מבלעדיך ככתוב, ויקבע אדוני צבאות במשפט, האל הקדוש נקדש בצדקה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש.
We continue silent now in our silent prayer, the prayer of the Machzor and the prayers of our heart. This is where we encounter a little idiosyncrasy of this Machzor. We're going to do our own personal prayers through to page 198. And then there's a skip to page 208, because they add something that's not from the morning Amidah in that middle section. So to 198, then you skip to 208, and it ends all the way on 220. Or you just move through it as you feel, praying the prayers of your heart as well. So we'll begin silent prayer now. Open up the ark, and you all can stand right in front of that ark. Give it a good pull. There you go. Page 223 of Enu Malkeinu. Hear our prayers.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha.
Together, Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu ve'alol aleinu v'tapeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale dever v'cherev ve'ahav me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aletz kol tzar u'maskin ba'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, katveinu lesefer chaim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu
Adonai uz lamo yiteh. Adonai barech et amo b'shalom. Avarachamim etiva birtzonecha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim.
Page 228 on the top.
Okay, so here's what will happen now. We will say the Shema, and then as a community, as a kahila, you will answer us.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
community, we have a group way of doing aliyot. So that means that we draw out the theme of this particular Torah portion, and then if the theme calls out to you, then you will come and come and get the blessing of that particular reading. You will come for an aliyah. You will come up for an aliyah. So this Torah portion is a troubling story. We read it every year on Rosh Hashanah. It's the story of Sarah and Abraham, who have waited for a long time. A long time. A kind of fantastically long time to get pregnant. And now Sarah is finally pregnant. She is remembered and she gets pregnant. And then what happens to her is she gets filled with fear after her child starts growing up. Right? None of us know about this. As our children grow up, none of us have any fears. Woo! I was really sitting with that this year, maybe because for the first time I now have a high schooler. I see those gestures of he needing to hear me. I won't keep yelling. Yes, I have a high schooler, and I was thinking about it this year about how this didn't happen immediately. It doesn't say that he's born and then this happens. It says he's born, he's weaned, he's growing up. And then she gets filled with fear, and then she gets seized by fear in a way that it's hard for her to see. And she says that she needs Hagar, who she suggested that Abraham have a baby with because she did not think she would ever have a baby. And there is this child, Ishmael, the half-brother of her child, Isaac. She says that Hagar needs to leave and kicks them both out from the community. And then Hagar, in this portion, is struggling with her child and prays on behalf of her child because they've run out of water and they're out in the midbar, in the desert, in the wilderness. So this is the lighthearted stuff that we need to look at every year on Rosh Hashanah. We go deep every year into the struggles, into the difficult places. And why don't we just make this stuff easy? It's challenging on purpose. This is the stuff that asks us to wrestle with what our ancient matriarchs and patriarchs were doing so that we can wrestle with what we are doing now. So these first verses, the first aliyah, is Sarah, after all of these years, conceives and bears a child, v'tahar v'teled. So come up for this aliyah if you have been working on conceiving an idea, a project, potentially a baby, but it doesn't have to be, a relationship, something that you have been working on conceiving, and come up to this aliyah for either reason. If in this past year you have done it, you did it, you gave birth to it, you had this project, this idea, this piece of art, this doing, and you did it, or come up if in this next year you are committed to birthing this project, this idea, this piece of art, this way of giving to the world, this newness in your life. Come up if you have done it, conceived it, birthed it, or if you are going to now commit to doing so in the year ahead. The whole Jewish world enters in to Rosh Hashanah as this time to realign, right? It's like a spiritual chiropractic adjustment yearly to say, where are we in our spine? And the spine in the tradition, I want to put out to you, is this idea of malchut that comes up in the prayer book at this time. What we get in our prayer books is the insertion of this word melech, right? We insert it everywhere, proclaiming this majesty, melech, which gets translated as king. Let me open it up a little more, right? Melech, malchut, sovereignty. If you think about that, the rabbis who wrote these prayers, right? The prayers were not in Torah. Some of them are chunks of Torah taken out to create prayers, but the rabbis were writing prayers. They were living at a time of utter destruction. The temple was gone. They could have just not continued. But to creatively continue with our people, we needed new traditions. We weren't going to sacrifice animals. We needed something else. Thank God. And we have these prayers. And as they were writing these prayers, and they wanted on this big elevated day to say something big on Rosh Hashanah, they were an occupied people, living under occupation. And everybody was praising the emperor as if the emperor were God. And they said, in a radical way, no, you are not our Melech. Our Melech is bigger than all of this. This is Malchut. This is bigger. This is the biggest part of our tradition. Right? What is Malchut? The stuff that they say over and over and over and over and over and again in our prayers. Chesed, loving kindness. Rachamim, compassion. Ahava, love. Shalom, peace. These are our Malchut. These ideas, they are bigger than one government and one particular leader at any particular time. We are used to this. We are used to struggling over many centuries with governments that were not always so great. But we said we have our Malchut. We have something bigger than this, and it carries us through. We know what to hold on to when things get shaky. We grab even tighter onto what we know, and we declare at the beginning of the year, this is Malchut. This is what we know, that there are values, there are qualities of character and spirit that are deeper, that are ancient, that we hold on to. So that's what we do every year at Rosh Hashanah. We proclaim that again. Every time we say Melech, and most of us as moderns go, ooh, king, yuck, awful, get that out of there. Why is that in the prayer book? I was okay until then. It was messing up my flow. Singing the songs, I'm feeling good, and it's like, king, all right, I'm out. Melech, sovereign. When you see that king, think about this people, this oppressed people, these rabbis who said something bigger is king. Malchut, this idea of the larger whole, the values that support us, that we can stand on and hold on to no matter what. That is Malchut. So on Rosh Hashanah, we come back to those values. Later, some centuries later, the Musar tradition pulled out these values and said, oh, it's great to study Torah, but if you don't live these values, who cares? So you pray again and again for loving kindness. If you're not kind, it's probably not working. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanter created the Musar tradition to get us to practice these qualities, not just study and imagine them, but to practice them, to do them. And they are called midot. A midah is a measurement. So I want to say something about these qualities. It's a different than maybe other people think of them. If something says, for example, humility, which we know we love to talk about a lot in the Nefesh community, anava, some people would think, oh, humility is just like be small and let other people be big. Well, it also turns out that we need to be big sometimes and let other people be small. A midah is a measurement. If you go too extreme on either end, you're not in balance. So now what we will do, Beth has these, and Ashley has these handouts. In a moment, they're going to pass them out, list of midot. This is probably familiar, right? This list, because this is what we do on Rosh Hashanah. I want to tell you that I always hear around this time of year from those of you who stuck with this practice. You chose a midah or two, no more than two. We're going to choose one or two, no more than two. Don't look at the list and be like, I need 12. Okay, maybe we all do, but we're going to choose one or two for the year. And I always hear at this time of year from people who did it and what it has meant for their lives. So here is a short excerpt from one of these report backs. Last year, I chose faith to focus on. I thought about it many, many times and prayed on it and held on to faith, even in times, emunah, when I could not see it, feel it, or touch it. There were some dark times, but an amazing thing has happened. A year later, all the faith I prayed for and meditated on has carried me through into a better, happier, more stable, and loving life. It is what I had hoped for and wanted so badly last year, but did not have. And somehow in this year I held on, and some days better than others, to the faith that things would get better, and they have. A year is a long time when you're looking forward, and a short time when you are looking back. I'm looking back now with such incredible gratitude and such gratefulness to you for the guidance to ask for the emunah, for the faith, so that I could feel it. I do not think I would feel such gratitude if I had not been paying attention to finding it and paid attention to finding it. So you're going to get it in a minute. One quick other last thing before you're going to choose a midah. For those of you who live in the east side, Silver Lake Echo Park area, or Eagle Rock, or anywhere east, heard about what had happened. It was a big deal at the Trader Joe's in Silver Lake. Yes? Yes. Yeah, me. There was a horrible event where somebody was being chased, and he ended up running into the Trader Joe's, and he was armed, and it was scary, very, very scary that more people, there was already an injury in his run. There was shooting from the police, and somebody was very badly hurt, killed. And the moment where all the folks were inside the market together, a friend who I've known since our babies were in baby group together was inside of that Trader Joe's. And if you know her, you would know that she practices these midot, is how I would translate it. She is not Jewish, but she has had a lifelong practice of compassion and empathy. And she studied nonviolent parenting with my mother Ruth, and is just committed. She's a committed person to acting in the ways that are in her deepest values. So here's another reason to practice the midot. You practice the midot so that, not just so that they're there for the easy times, but then in a crisis, you know what you count on. And in that moment, she went towards the gunman and helped him, take care of him, listen to him, and help to negotiate what came next from a place of empathy and compassion. She is an incredible person, and all of us who knew her thought she was exactly the right person to be there in that moment. I am sure she was terrified and thinking about how to get everybody out with nobody else getting hurt. And she did that. At times she had to draw a boundary with the police when it felt like he was getting more and more agitated. She went back and forth until they figured out a way for everyone to get out safely. And in the midst of it, towards the end, he said to her, I wish I had met you before this has at all happened, because really I just needed somebody to listen to me. So these midot are here for us to practice, not in an esoteric way, but in a practice. So if you choose a midah and you want to know, how do I practice this? There's a textbook I can tell you towards everyday holiness, and then you develop literal practices so that you, on a daily basis, make yourself do the things you are trying to do. When you are afraid there is no faith, you sit in the moment and meditate on faith and in the belief in it. If you are not feeling you are generous enough in your life, when somebody asks you for money, you don't think, oh, where are they going to go spend this money? You give them the money because you open your hand enough times so that it stays open. That's the idea. So Beth and Ashley and other ushers who have these lists, we're going to pass them out. If you were here last night, Achrayut was the midah that I spent all of our time on last night. That is a midah to choose for the year. We have also done ahava together and anava, humility and love. You're going to now choose one. And you're going to discuss it with one other person, maybe two more people, but not, you can't have a group of more than 3. We don't have time. 5779, looking forward to hearing all about how the Midot are going when we check in with them on Shabbat throughout the year. Hayom, 294. Today is the day. Today we commit to all of this. 294. Moving towards closing the service here. I believe that there are sheets about it. 287.